Hello everybody, this is Nick from Arcade Hunters, and I'm getting back into the swing of things and going to finish off my PlayStation 2 Street Fighter games that I have, then moving on to Dreamcast. So I'm ending it off with one of the 6 games that is actually on the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology, and this is the one non-alpha game that's added in as a bit of a bonus for fans. And this game has 2 different names depending on which version you play. Now, in the arcades in Japan, this game was released as Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix, but if you ended up getting the home port version that came out on the PlayStation 1 originally, it was called Pocket Fighter, which is pretty much the version that I call it. I always called it Pocket Fighter. And this game originally came out on the CPS2 system hardware in the fall of 1997 from Capcom. And it's got 16 characters, a really diverse roster. It's got characters from Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Tessa, or Tabasia, I forget how to pronounce her names correctly, from Capcom's Red Earth is also in the game, and Ibuki from Street Fighter 3 is also in the game. So it has a lot of cool characters in it. Also, Dan and Akuma are in the game as hidden characters, so it has a total of 16 characters in the game. And I did rent the PS1 version, and from playing this port on the PlayStation 2 collection, I can tell you it was done pretty well. You know, it's using all the character sprites that you might remember from my previous video of Puzzle Fighter. You know, that has the super deformed art style with the gigantic heads with big eyes and little limbs and stuff like that. And they it's still, you know, feels very much like a Street Fighter Versus game, but they kind of tone it down to make it easy for new players and try to get some, I guess, maybe younger people into the game, because the game only uses 3 buttons. You have a punch and a kick, and a special button that just pretty much will do something random. If you do a quarter circle and press the special, it'll do an attack. But what you can also do, it's kind of almost like a focus attack in Super Street Fighter 4, where if you hold it down for a long enough time, your character will charge up for a special attack. So there's some pretty cool stuff that you can do with it that you can't really do in normal Street Fighter games. Now, as you can see from the ground that's being littered up, there's the gems, hence why they also called this game Super Gem Fighter. Now, what you can do with these gems that get knocked on the ground is every time you pick one of them up, it builds up your character's different special attacks that are on the bottom corners of the screen, and each one of those can be powered up to 3 times, so you can have a, you know, more powerful fireball for Chun-Li, the lightning legs, and also her spinning bird kick that can also be leveled up into 3 different ones. And of course you have your different special attacks that you can use from over below the life bar, like right here, this Hokosho, I think is pretty much how you correctly pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounce anything, but that's the same with everything. Now, one of the other cool things is that the characters each have these little item balls that they get that you can either get from hidden chests, or you pretty much, like right here, you just start with them. And as you can see, I'm using Dan, who is one of the special characters. And what's funny with Dan here is that you can actually have an appearance of his father as one of his special attacks right there. You couldn't really see him, and unfortunately I'm using an alternate skin for him since he's not in his trademark pink. But when you do summon Dan's father, it's pretty much, if you guys know, everybody will know that Dan is a ripoff of the King of Fighters character, pretty much Robert Garcia, and when you summon Dan's father, it's pretty much Mr. Karate with the big kabuki mask with the giant nose, so he'll come out and shoot a beam out of his nose, which is pretty friggin' funny. So it's got a lot of cool stuff. Now, the biggest thing about this game that it has is there's a lot of just homages to other Capcom games. As you can see in the background, there is just a ton of characters, and there is the Buyajin for Dan, where his father will come out and shoot a giant, like, Hadouken out of his nose, because I guess that's just what he does. So, you know, Dan was never, I guess meant to be taken as a serious character. Now here is Dan going up against Ibuki, who is added in from Street Fighter 3, so it's cool to see that she's in the game. And what you'll see from Ibuki when I'm going and fighting her is that all the characters, when they do their attacks, transform into different little costumes. So, as you saw from the opening, you know, Morgan will turn into a schoolgirl, a nurse, and stuff like that, but some of the characters, like right here, Ibuki will turn into a penguin and do her little dive kick attack. That's really cool. But characters like Chun-Li will turn into Jill from Resident Evil, have a machine gun and rocket launcher. And right here, Ibuki also turns into the penguin, and also when she does her air special, turns into Rolento. But one of my favorites is Felicia, because she'll turn into Mega Man and actually shoot out a Mega Buster and a couple of Darkstalkers characters. I'm pretty sure John Tabalian, and I forgot the name of the Fishman character. I'm very sorry I forgot his name, but you know, other than that, it's a really cool, lighthearted Street Fighter game. You know, anybody can get into it. You don't have to be really have to know all the different ins and outs of Street Fighter to play this game. It's very easy to pick up and play. You can just slam the buttons around, you know. It pretty much works, you know. It's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see that they added this game into the Alpha Anthology. So, you know, not only do you have all the different Street Fighter Alpha games, but, you know, you get this as a special bonus, which, you know, I'm pretty sure for the PlayStation will, I think, still go for about $25–$30, depending on where you go shopping for it. And as you might have seen from that, Dan turns into pretty much like an Elvis Presley imitator, and some of the other funny ones is Akuma will turn into a swimmer and hit you in the head with a board. So it's pretty funny stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed this. This is Pocket Fighter or Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be right back with another review of Street Fighter Alpha 1 Warrior's Dreams. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.